Okay guys, welcome back. I'm standing here in front of my shop today. It's a beautiful afternoon, but I'm taking a little bit of time instead of being out in the woods to fix something that I should have fixed a long time ago. Many of you guys have heard this Bostitch framing nailer in action. I've used it for a number of years and it's performed well, but many of you have heard it leaking the last time and probably the time before that I used it, and my compressor's cycling non-stop pretty much as a result. We're going to hopefully fix that leak here today. And so what I've done is I've gone ahead and went to one of my local Bostitch dealers and I picked up this O-ring kit. This is an N89ORN. This is supposed to fit my Bostitch framing nailer, and this model number, as you guys can see there beside my finger, is the F33PT. This is a 33 degree paper collated framing nailer. I think I got that right. This is the types of nails it uses. In just a second, I'm going to hook up my air compressor to this. I'm going to put the nails into it and we'll see exactly what it's doing and why it's worth fixing. Now, just to give you guys a bit of backstory with this, I did not buy this brand new. I bought this off a local contractor, and well, that contractor didn't exactly tell me how much the person used it. They probably safe to assume they used it quite a bit, and then I've used it for quite a bit of time, and so it's definitely due for a rebuild. I don't know exactly if this is going to fix it, but it's worth taking a risk on. These things aren't cheap. I went and looked to buy an electric framing nailer. By the time I got some new 20-volt batteries, and we're talking DeWalt here, a new 20-volt batteries with the charger and the framing nailer, I think I was around $500 or $600 Canadian. That's not happening. Picked up the O-ring kit. We're going to see if we can put a few more years into this thing before I splurge and get something better. So let's fire this thing up. You guys will hear exactly why I want to fix it, because I got to tell you, hearing the compressor running non-stop is not fun. Oh, there we go. You guys hear that? That's a beautiful sound. I turned my compressor off because the truth of the matter is, if I had it on, it would start to cycle very, very soon. We're just going to put some nails into it. And just keep in mind, I do oil this thing regularly, so it's not leaking because it's dry. It gets oiled regularly. Let's go ahead and drive a nail in here, and I just have some scrap blocks. Now, as you can see there, it definitely works. One nail, two nails, doesn't really matter. Definitely works well, but as you can imagine, that leak gets old real quick. So that's why we're going to go ahead and fix it here today. And it probably can do with a bit of a cleaning too. As you guys can see, it's had its day in the sun, and well, it's still ticking. Let's make sure it stays that way. So first things first, I've never installed one of these before, so some of you who are sitting at home might say to yourself, wow, he's got a job ahead of him, and maybe I do. I have no idea. Okay, so I had the option of buying the Bostitch kit, or I could have bought sort of a no-name generic brand O-ring kit. I opted for the little bit more expensive Bostitch kit. It seemed to have good instructions in it. It seemed to come with everything I need. Even has this little pin here to get the O-rings out. We'll just put that over there. So let's see what we're dealing with. And there is a ton of O-rings in here. Hopefully the instructions are good. Looks like we even have some grease in there, or lubricant, so that'll go around the O-rings before I install them, I'm assuming. Okay, it's good to me. Let's break out the instructions. It's a lot of writing. All right, that's what I'm talking about right there. So you guys can see where the O-rings go here. If you want to get even a closer look, it looks like they label it quite well. So I'm happy to see that to start. Looks like we got to take this top cap off. And then it shows us exactly where the rings go. I'm liking it so far. Let's go ahead and do it. All right, guys, well, that's the extent of the, I'll call it the top end of the O-ring installation. I'm going to put everything back in here. The rest of these rings here, it looks like it's involving the trigger. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put everything back together on the top. I'm going to plug it in. I'm going to see how it goes. If this fixes the leak, I'm going to have to make a decision whether I want to dive into the other O-rings at this point. I might say no and hold on to the O-rings just in case it starts to leak. But we'll cross the bridge when we get there. So what I did, and you guys can see, I flipped this upside down and there was some residual moisture there. It's probably due to humidity in the air. I was using this throughout the summer. Probably had a little bit of cold and warm inside this gun here, so that was causing that. One thing I did notice as I was taking this apart, and I'll show you guys, you'll see that black sort of rubberish looking piece in there. Well, there's a bit of a notch out of the one side of it. I'm hoping that is not what's causing the leak. If it is, well, I did all this for nothing, but let's just hope that's not the case. So let's clean her up and we'll get her back together. Alright guys, well, we got a button back up. This is my first attempt to fire a nail. I'm hoping as soon as I plug the air in, it doesn't leak, but if it does, you'll see it at the exact same time I will. So here goes. We'll put our nails in it first. Fingers crossed. I don't know if I'm optimistic or not. Ever so slightly, you hear that? I don't know if I can hear it or if it's a figment of my imagination. I don't know, is it supposed to just trickle out of there? I'm not sure. Anyways, it's light years better than what it was. Wow, love it. Maybe I'm just hearing things. I would say that is good to go. Probably I could put in the rest of the O-rings for the trigger, but I think at this point, why break something if I mean, why fix something if it's not broken? So I'm going to leave it exactly like that. That was my O-ring installation kit. That was the very first time I did that. And I'd say it was a success. It saved me a few $100. And hey, I'll get to put a few more nails in with this thing and you guys won't have to hear that compressor running nonstop. Guys, thanks for watching. Make sure if you haven't done so already, check out some of the builds I got on the go. The equipment shed build is coming down the pipe. In fact, you guys probably will see it before you see this repair. Anyways, check those out if you haven't done so already. Give her the old thumbs up, and I'll see you guys all next time.